The echo tells me it is 41 degrees outside. I have a backlog of items to work on the garage. It's time to get at it. I've been admiring this little stool since a trip from somewhere, Colorado maybe. I finally went out and splurged and picked it up. So, places for rags, I have a great stool that was made by a friend of mine that's a little lower, but this is really great for sitting and working on the bike. First thing I'm going to talk about is this, and I had ordered it for the SNS Stealth Teardrop air cover. I'd actually thought that this was a new cover. It's actually an insert. Goes like that. And I think it'll look nice. Unfortunately, they say it attaches with silicone, and it came with none. So I guess I'm going to go do a little bit of shopping. I mean, I'm honestly kind of sick of everything being way more complicated than it should be. But I guess that's just kind of the way of it. I'll brush that off and get working on some other things. So this is kind of a bummer. I bought the housing for the Speedo from one dealership and went and tried to get the harness for turn signals, which is actually covered in the Dakota Digital speedometer. As well as this will give me neutral and tell me other indicators, think like high beams, maybe things like that. Anyway, as you can see, those are not meant to pair. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. This is a 1200 Sport, and when I went to the Speedo housing, I wanted to go singular, so he gave me a clamp for a 97 1200, just a regular 1200. And I explained this came from another dealer, and they said that he had actually told me that the housing was discontinued, or the indicator lamps. And well, this dealer was my savior because they said they could get it for me. So I don't know, maybe there's an opportunity to replace this out eventually with a newer clamp. I'm guessing that's what happened. Maybe this is a year or two newer. Maybe I can make a bracket and connect it up next to it or something. I mean, this is really becoming a lot of custom fab instead of bolt-on, and that's okay. It's good learning experience, I guess. But I'm going to set this aside and put the Dakota Digital there because I'm quickly running out of space. And I think it's probably going to be safer there. We can get to some of the wiring. And, you know, some of the guys I watch on YouTube say that wiring is what separates boys from men, and I'm kind of agreeing with them. This is getting to be a little bit intimidating, but we'll push through. This is the person of the hour. This is the Dakota Digital MCL 3200 that I got for my speedometer / turn signals. and we're going to put that right into the turn signal, or I'm sorry, the speedometer housing now. It does need an adapter. On the Sportster 1200 from 97, there is actually a cable for getting your speed. Okay, well, I've got the Dakota digital speedometer all wired up with this rat nest of wires. Jim, close your eyes, man. I know that's unsightly. We'll fix her up. Okay, we've got the Speedo in. From the reflection, you can see that I've got it oriented right. Now here's the interesting thing. I thought I actually had bought the blue LED and it's looking red, which is good actually. I think I'll see that better. So I'm glad to see that. This is a good place to show some things. First of all, yeah, something I've learned. If you're dealing with a bike that's probably older than 10 years, you're going to get some bad info, even at the dealership. And I just want to say it's not their fault. They're not familiar probably with the specific bike. They're looking out of a catalog and doing their best. But I was told by one dealership that this ring and this ring, which are rubber rings, gaskets, were the same. With the other dealership, they only gave me the bottom gasket and forgot the top. Well, it turns out that thankfully the first gasket I got was the one I needed for the bottom because they are not the same. I could probably retrofit, but the bottom has a notch out to allow the cables from the speedometer to come out of the bottom. And then we'll route that. The previous owner had done it into the headlight so that it wasn't very unsightly. We may choose to do that as well. I'm not there yet. But it's definitely different. And you don't want to make the mistake of running the wires through here. You've got to go through this notch because I don't have it installed yet, but there's a plate that goes on the back of this to finish out the speedometer. The other thing I would tell you is you're going to have to be extraordinarily patient to get these gaskets in. And, don't go at this like a cave person because you will destroy your parts. And you will get frustrated. So have a beer, take it easy, take your time. It will go in. I still have a little bit of a gap here that I'm working on. I think it's close enough now that once I put the back on, it'll push it in. But this is, even though all the hardcore guys that have been biking for a while will say this is an easy job, and I would even say it's not difficult, I will say it's frustrating, especially if you're building a bike and you don't have all the original parts. This one was kind of modified when I got it. I'm kind of restoring it pseudo back to its original state. So there's a lot of things that were missing, and I'm making repeated trips to shops to kind of resolve. So my first lesson that I've already gotten in all of this is you have to be patient. There's going to be multiple trips. Your dealerships are going to make mistakes too. So take it easy and go with it. Go with the experience. You're going to learn a lot. I have a friend that's coming over because I find that drinking beer and swearing is a group activity, and two heads are better than one. So later this afternoon we'll have a buddy helping with this. So there's a collar on the reset switch. The unscrew off, and you can put it back on. I'm doing that now to attach it. Make sure you get it on the right side. When I originally did this, I had it on the wrong side. And just like my friend that I enjoy watching, Shade Tree Surgeon, I had to do it twice. And so now that I have that in place, this goes on like that. There's a couple of screws, which I've got to be careful not to lose. And we'll bolt that on, and our Speedo housing and Speedo will be in place. And there she is. Put it in. Looks almost correct. Here's the reset button. Here's the rat nest of wires that we'll have to wire up. And all in all, I think that was correct. Inside, chilling out, getting a little warm, watching some YouTube. I just wanted to say thanks for watching today. Come back, watch the progress next week. I've actually got the footage for it, so you will see more bikes. Please click like, hit the bell, hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon. As I always leave you with, please remember to see the beautiful things that are around you every day.